Well, hey there, how y'all doing today? I was working on my, it's a 123 Cup Cadet. It was originally a hydrostat. Of course, somebody's done put a regular, free-speed transmission in it, but anyways, I'm working on this whole thing, getting the tires, putting tubes in the tires, and I done did the front one. Sorry about the lighting, but I done did the front one, put the tube in it, back the bearings full of grease. The bearings didn't seem that bad, or at least it wasn't bad enough for me not to use them. Cause I really don't know how long I'm gonna use this thing, how often I am, but anyways, I just wanted to show y'all this, which I thought was pretty neat for this Cup Cadet. I have to look back and see what year this thing was made, but I think it was made in the late 60s, early 70s, I think. But when I got this thing, it was in a barn of a dirt floor and had an open door on it, right in front of where this thing was sitting, and the steering on it was completely locked up, all the wheels were locked up, none of the tires were air up. And actually, the tires ain't really in that bad of shape. And I ended up having to beat on the steering system a little bit to get it, that right there, I had to beat on that a little bit to get the steering loosened up, because that's on the driver's side spindle, that was locked up pretty good. I finally got that broke loose. And actually, I have got the thing to run. The gas tank didn't look that rusty, and I just put some O-rings in the, I tried to make some gaskets for the gas bowl. But it turns out that O-ring I had, that's for the turn-off switch up in there. It don't quite shut off the fuel all the way, so it's leaving the carburetor, and I didn't get any new carburetor kit. I need to get a carburetor kit for the thing, and also get a rebuild kit. And I'm hoping I can get a inner O-ring. There's a little felt plate that goes inside that screw right there. You unscrew that little hex screw right there on the end of that right in there on that shut off valve, and there's a felt gas. I hope I can get one of those, or I might just get a whole new gas bowl, which I really don't do. But the carburetor's leaking now, so I need to get a new carburetor kit for it. But really, the thing don't run bad. The only thing though is whenever it was set up, the throttle position was on the low idle speed, so it idles really low and kind of sounds kind of rough, but you can still get, I ain't got a cable down here, I got it up there in my truck, but the throttle cable, these old stuff like this, you can still bind and roll, I think from, I want to say MFG, it's a lawnmower supply store, a parts supplier online, but anyways, the reason I was wanting to show y'all this, I thought this was really neat, the way this thing's got a disc brake setup on this old Cup Cadet. And really it's pretty similar to one you see on the modern car nowadays. You know, you got the rotor right there. Let me see if I can put it over here. Okay, you see, you got the rotor right there, and it is rusty. And you got the two pads on top that squeeze squeeze on the rotor to make it stop. And I don't know if I can get the lighting just right to show y'all how it works. But yeah, it works. But get it going there, and let's see how this thing works. I got it freed up right now. I'm gonna hit the clutch over here. Okay, so that's the clutch. Exhaust the brake. But let's see. Is it the only thing, probably the reason I'm putting this on here is, as far as I can see, there's no spring that makes the brake release once you release the clutch. And honestly, I've just started working on this thing. I got this past spring, and it's actually not in horrible shape. Like I said, I've got it running. It don't run half bad. I haven't seen it the amount of usually it would take for that steering to lock up and all the tires go completely flat and not being able to hold air even for a minute. But I can't seem to find any. I don't know if there's supposed to be a spring or return spring somewhere on this. And if anybody out there is a Cadet expert and run to these models like this that have the rear disc brakes, I'd really like to find out if you can put a comment down in the comments and ask, where is the spring supposed to be, and pictures would be helpful too. I could G-rig if I need to, but they just need old tractor and need some this old, because at this point I think in history a lot of cars still had drum brakes on it, so to have disc brakes on a tractor like this and rear disc brakes, of course old lawnmower ain't got no front brakes, but the back brakes at least were drums. I mean not drums, but discs. That was pretty neat. It still looks like it's still got a good bit of pad left on them, I think. So I shouldn't run into any problems with that. I've also got a 71 Cup Cadet. That's the model number, not the year number, but it's a 71. It's got I think it's got a 7 horse Kohler on it. This one's got a 12 horse. What I found out is that the actual number is 123. That means it's a 12 horse. The first, but and of course out there is a 71, so that's a 7 horse. But down yonder ain't got no deck. This one does have the mowing deck. That one up yonder does not have a mowing deck on it, but does have a sleeve hitch on the back of it. I'm not gonna show it now; it's too late at night. But anyways, but what I might try to do, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I might try to take this brake setup and try to put it on the 71 Cup since that has sleeve hitch, and I want to try to get a blade, and I done got the plow for it. I got there the local farm auction place here in the same county I live in. Got them for $100 brand new. You can buy them for I think $400, $500, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But you need the plow attachment for sleeve hitch, which man, I might maybe do that one day. Also, pretty neat the way this is not, the drive on this thing. It is not belt driven. It's clutch driven like a car, like a manual car really. And you see as I hit the clutch right here, it slings that rod right there. It slings that plate right there back, which I would imagine means it's trying to move this plate right here, which spins along. Man, that thing's got some compression on it, but how much compression that thing's got. But and what I'm wondering, and I've never seen these run before, but I would imagine it's got these 3 little prongs right here, and I imagine that those slip in and out like that. I'm not entirely sure, and I'm sure, and of course this thing's so rusted, like I said, they're about the steering, but it might be just so rusted it just ain't moving right. And I think that's what it is, because whenever you have it running, the clutch does not want to disengage, and you can't put it in gear if you start in neutral. And like I said earlier, all the tires, when I got it running, all the tires you couldn't even keep air in for a minute. As soon as you put air in, so many holes, they would just blow them right back out, come right back out of them. So I didn't want to try to run it. But anyways, that's the clutch on it. And I will show y'all, this is really neat. I put some Rust-Oleum rust primer on here. All I did, it was really rusty. You can see there's some holes in it from the rust. But all I did was I kind of just took a wire brush, sanded it down, put some sandpaper, just sand it down, and sprayed off with brake cleaner, and then I went over it with a rag with, what is that, acetone, I think, and just rub over this real quick, make sure I didn't have no oil on there, and then painted it on there with a paintbrush. Actually didn't come out too bad for being paintbrush, but Of course, got an old generator. That's a star generator on there. And here's the interesting part about it. This thing has a hydraulic deck lift on it. I mean, this thing's just so neat. And as you can see, there's the rod right there and the piston for hydraulic. And you see I'm gonna need to do some sanding on that before I do it. And those don't look bad. I reckon, and please, if somebody knows more about it than I do, I would imagine that you take that right there off, and before you do it, and make sure that thing's full of hydraulic fluid. And like I say, I ain't got a clue about this kind of stuff, so if somebody knows what kind of hydraulic fluid I need to put in here, please put this in the comments, because I don't know. Somebody's actually worked on these things before, and ran them before, but I don't know if I can. But that's just how you raise and lower it. Of course, that activates the cylinder. And at one point, this thing did have a hydraulic rear end on, because of course I think this thing might have run out. So somebody put a free speed standard in it. Which actually I would rather have the free speed anyways, because I'm collecting this, but I want something that's, gonna be somewhat more, ain't got all the bells and whistles on it, I had a John Deere, it was a newer John Deere, had Kawasaki on it, and had a hydrostat that had the lever on the side right there, and that thing would quick forward, and if you had a neutral, and you couldn't push the thing if it was in neutral. It sat there unless it was running. But but when it had on that thing, that was a pretty good mower until the carburetor draw blade snapped in half, and just got a cheap carburetor and sold it. But I mean, that probably wouldn't have been a bad mower, but this one just real heavy duty. And by the way, this right here is the lever you use to turn the blades on and off. And I think yeah, there it goes. And I don't know how that works. I'll get to it. See if I can get this thing raised up. And of course, there's where the battery was set. And of course, there's the draw lever right there that goes right there. You have to take it apart before you get off. The gas tank, of course. The muffler. The old style points. Regulator. The generator. If you look down in there, that right there is the Lord have mercy. Is the clutch for the attachments for the blades that will turn the blades on and off. And it's just by a simple lever. Of course, there's the points. The points up under there, so it's fairly easy to get to. Though you have to have a really thin screwdriver to get to that Phillips. The flathead is up under there. The old check unit. And of course, there's the little carburetor. Really neat. On top of there, that nail right there is where the nail that goes down into the bottom of the jet. That's that determines how much fuel goes in there. It actually comes out of the top, not the bottom, which is very neat. But I mean, the thing's a nice little motor though. I mean, look at that. Nothing's made like that no more. Nothing. Of course, a little emblem on the front. And of course, at some point, I am going to take the generator off. I work at an ordinary star repair shop. Just a little old, it used to be a one-man house, a two-man show, me and my dad. And I'll take that apart, make sure the armature ain't shorted out too bad. Make sure the brushes are good. Make sure the bearings are packed full of grease. But I'm not going to do that right now, of course. The wiring, I'm hoping not to do anything. The wiring, it still cranks over fairly well. Hopefully just leave that alone. Make sure to, and just go to the generator or burn it up, you know. But anyway, just a neat little mower. If y'all have any comments or questions, just put it down there. I reckon that's all I'm thinking about for right now. But God bless y'all, and I hope y'all have a good day.